So still no VFR flying in Cyprus at the moment. I know that a lot of people have been trying to put some pressure on the government to get the ban lifted, particularly people like the schools up at Larnaca, the flying schools, all of those places, because of course they're going to lose money, so they can't fly. They've still got loans to pay for aircraft, etc. So it's kind of, you imagine there should be some kind of furlough system like we used to have in COVID. That was when I was back in the UK. I don't want to be back there though. So the thing that makes it easier for me is that there's actually a thunderstorm outside at the moment, so I couldn't fly anyway, which is really the reason why I'm going very slow time on the rebuild of the engine. That combination of a slow rebuild, slow rebuild with bad weather like that kind of makes everything okay, because I'm not flying, that is, in a strange kind of way. So next job on here, thanks dog, the next job on here is to put the cylinder back on. One thing to note on here is just to lubricate all the parts, particularly these piston rings. Just make sure there's a nice bit of oil on them and they're aligned with the holes. So holes, they're kind of dots there. The gap goes on the dot of both rings. That ensures that you get a stagger on the rings as it goes along, and you get a nice good seal while it's in the cylinder. Good thing to do, the way I lubricate, is if I just pull that around slightly just to get that fully extended piston, and then you can see just inside there's lots of lovely Motul 800, which you can just give that a bit of a wipe over. Get your finger in there, get it nice and oily, and just put some of that oil all around the piston there and all over those rings. One thing I did think of, which was quite good as well, was just to make sure that when you've got everything sat on the bench exposed to the elements, that you keep this lubricated, just so you don't get any rust build up on the sides there. But there you go. So there's the oil, nicely lubricated and all ready for the cylinder head to go back on. And of course the only oil that we use, which I've just mentioned there,